Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 186 of Crunch Time with the N326 Duo. I'm your host today, Sam Godsey, and with me today, as always, it's Tanner Dizzle. Tanner, how you doing tonight?
Honestly, horrible. Quite horrible. To be honest with you, if I'm putting on, if this is the least I've ever wanted to come on and talk sports in my life. But guess what? The show goes on. I will have to talk sports, even though I want nothing to do with sports at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a longer episode today. A lot going on this past week. College football, NFL, start of the MLB postseason, the Ryder Cup. We'll get and talk about it all on episode 186. So, Tanner, I think we just go ahead and dive into the football
Let's
side of
do it.
things.
Let's do it.
College football week 5 kicked off with some absolute bangers, Tanner. On Friday night, we got Florida State being upset by Virginia 46-38, as well as Arizona State going down to the wire with TCU to capture a 27-24 win. Now, we're not going to dive too much into these games, but Tanner, how awesome was that field storming by the
Dude,
Virginia faithful?
have we, okay, like part of this is a joke, but part of this is dead serious. Have we gotten a wellness check on that wide receiver? Is
No,
he
dude, that
kicking it?
was crazy.
Is he still kicking it? Because like I love court storming. I said court and field
Court
storming.
field, it's all the same.
It's taking it out of college sports. I think would be just quite possibly the biggest tragedy in the sports world.
Yeah,
Um, one's like Friday night, as awesome as it was. It's going to be the evidence used to get him banned,
yep,
which sucks. Um, we talked about how quickly the goalpost came down when it was in Mississippi State.
yeah.
That was like, I mean, you could see because they were funneling down they were on the side, they were
Yeah.
on the field, which I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Is there just not a barricade in at Virginia?
Either there's not a barricade or they just like let him like get ready
Yeah.
for the storm. But
Crazy move.
crazy move.
There was no security.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Either that or it's that like the me with the old guy who's just doing
Yeah,
get let him in the game. But like so awesome, absolutely elite court storm. And I think Virginia's good, dude.
yeah,
Virginia might be good.
yeah. And it helps they play in a pretty bad conference too.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
they can make some
and
noise.
who everyone thought was the best team in the conference is bad.
Really bad.
The other two good teams in the conference, like you probably played what the third best team in the conference, you beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Virginia might be good. Their quarterback, um, his name is escaping me. Morris,
Yeah.
Chandler Morris. He is really fun to watch.
Yeah. It was a super fun game. A lot of people weren't paying attention but tuned in later in the game, and I'm sure those people are glad they did. But let's move on to craziness that was Saturday. It was an absolutely loaded slate.
One thing I will add also on Friday, you mentioned the Arizona State and then obviously the Virginia. Um, Houston, Oregon State also went to overtime. So we had a double
Yeah.
overtime, and then that Arizona State game, which
Yeah.
was nice as well. So Friday night was awesome. Friday night
Yeah.
was awesome.
Absolutely. What kind of kicked off the craziness of Saturday was USC versus Illinois. Illinois hitting a late game field goal to capture the win over USC 34-32. Tanner, it seems like we have this conversation every year with a USC led by Lincoln Riley. They mounted that crazy comeback to gain the lead with under 2 minutes, but couldn't close it out. Is this a sign of just the classic Lincoln Riley defensive breakdowns, coaching missteps, or should we not look too much into this and it was just a one game collapse?
I mean, I think to be honest, a little bit of both in the fact that I do think I don't trust the USC defense.
Yeah.
But I also think it's just like I don't think anyone out here is going to tell you USC was winning a
Yeah.
national championship. So I think Illinois is legitimately good. I think they ran into Indiana went in an under the lights at home game where everything went right and then
Yeah.
things just snowballed and you look up at the score and it's 63-10 and you're like, how the hell did we get here? I do think Indiana, Illinois, geez, too many eyes. I do think Illinois is legitimately good.
Agreed.
Um, I think the USC offense is great,
Yeah.
or good, I should say. Um, and I don't trust their defense. So yeah, I don't think the defense is all that good. But also, I don't think USC doesn't have the Heisman quarterback in a situation where if they don't make the playoff,
Yeah.
like under Caleb Williams, it's a failure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case here. So I'm not reading into USC's frauds. I mean, not really, because we didn't really expect them to be able
Yeah,
to good.
exactly.
But I don't trust their defense. So
yeah,
yes, it's a little bit of both.
I think they're just gonna be one of those teams that's within the bottom half of the top 25. I don't think they're gonna beat the elite of the Big Ten. I think there's get drop games like that, kind of this one, where they kind of had a chance to close it out, did it. But it's same thing as every year with USC. They're really good on offense, but for some reason they can't put a good defensive scheme and team together. So
if you come up to me and said at the beginning of the game, you said, by the way, Illinois is going to win this game 34-32 on a last second field goal, I'll be like, yeah, that sounds that sounds right. It sounds like exactly how I'd expect it to.
What a bounce back for Illinois, obviously coming off that absolutely smacking of the Indiana game. Brett Bielema, shout out.
Well coached football team.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a much needed win. But moving on, we had a battle in the SEC. LSU 19, Ole Miss 24. And we got to talk about our guy. Trinidad Chambliss went crazy this game, had 314 yards passing, a huge impact running the offense, was the glue that kept Ole Miss together in this one. Now, Tanner, we've kind of talked about this guy multiple weeks now. Is this guy becoming a real SEC star, or is he just on an incredible hot streak?
I think he's becoming an SEC star.
Dude, he's a stud.
Dude, I think my official take after this game is that he is in my top 3 quarterbacks to watch this year.
And the other 2?
I think number 1 is John Mateer.
Yeah.
Because watching him throw the football is
yeah.
I think Chambliss might be number 2.
Yeah.
I think number 3 I'm going to put Diego Pavia in there because he's what college football is all about. Just like a 6-year senior who just won't leave college football and is awesome and is bringing a program that's not a great football program, and he's leading the success. But anyway, he's awesome, dude. He's so fun to watch. No play is dead. The amount of times in this game, I just because it was during the Iowa game, so I had it on a second screen. And the amount of times I looked down and he was just rolling out of the pocket and just pointed and just fired one. Yeah. And who knows what would happen? He threw a pick. He had a lot of completions that way. He's just super fun to watch. Gives Ole Miss, a whole new depth after Jackson Dart. Obviously, we weren't quite sure what was going to be with Ole Miss. Big time win for Ole Miss. Haters like myself eat a little bit of crow on this one. But yeah, Chambliss is awesome. And shout out Lane Kiffin for finding him at, we've said it a million times. Ferris State.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, he's absolutely balling. I don't think anybody can disagree at this point. But on the flip side, LSU is down in the dumps. I know that's crazy. They were 3rd or 4th in the nation, but they are seriously lagging in multiple areas. But I think the one we need to highlight here is the rushing yards, Tanner. They only had 57 rushing yards. Now, there are some injuries. Their right tackle, Weston Davis, their starting running back, Hayden Madurum, have both been out for a little bit. But is this truly a loss on injuries, or is it does it fall on the shoulders of Coach Kelly?
I think I mean I'm looking at Coach Kelly because the offense has been a major problem this
Yeah.
year. I mean, the against Clemson, which hindsight's 2020. We didn't know Clemson was super mega ass at that point.
Yeah.
So and they also were better on offense than the 17 points indicated.
Yeah.
So you walked away with that being like, wow, what a win. But I still walked away from that game. That defense is really good. Louisiana Tech after that. Okay, you expect that. That's a spot where LSU comes in and rolls. 23-7, less than impressive, but double-digit win. Florida. Again, a team that we now know is super mega ass. And at that point, we kind of knew they were not as good as the preseason 15 overall ranking that we saw next to their name. 20-10. It's like, okay, another game that, and I know 7 of those points are from a pick six.
Yeah.
So 13 points against Florida. Southeast Louisiana, you got it right. They scored 56 in the game. And now 19 against Ole Miss. It's like the offense is a little bit of an issue. And obviously we got to look at the senior quarterback.
Yeah.
Which obviously we got into it from the run game. Does the offensive line situation and the running back, the injuries don't help. But I'm looking at the offense as a whole.
Yeah.
As I expected this to be better. Now there are reports that Nussmeier might be injured.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who knows?
But is that a true report, or is it just kind of a cover up for how he's been playing?
Are we looking at this saying, yeah, like we're it's the tinfoil hat. They're covering up how bad he's been, or is he playing hurt? And it's like, dude, at this point, the backups gives the team a better chance of winning than an injured Nussmeier.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the offense is an issue.
That's what happened with Ole Miss, man. Their starting quarterback blanking on his name, but Trinidad Chambliss came in against Arkansas and absolutely tore it up. And it seems like he is continuing to do so. But now is the time to talk about our Hawkeyes, Tanner. I don't know about you, but I came into this game coming off the schmacking Indiana put on Illinois, how we didn't look very great against against Rutgers in that first half last week. This game shocked me, Tanner. We did end up losing 20-15, but I think the big headline of this one, Mark Gronowski goes down late in the third, early in the fourth. Kind of give me your thoughts on that. What does that mean? Did that have such a significant impact on this game? And what's the outlook from here on out for the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Yeah. First off, I mean, this game, I do want to I don't know what the word is because I want to say impressed, but I was very happy with the effort.
Yeah.
From Iowa. It was truly a game. There have been many games where I kind of after a loss, I'm like, gutless loser. How do you lose that?
Yeah.
That wasn't really the case here. I was happy with the effort. The Gronowski injury, I think. I mean, I am one of those people that would tell you if Gronowski doesn't get hurt, I think we win.
Yeah,
I do.
I agree. We talked about it shortly after the final, but yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, because even then, with Hank Brown, if he completes, did you see the screenshots from the screen pass today that have been floating around?
No, I haven't.
Because Tim Lester held his media availability and he talked about it and he said, "I watched the tape and he said it was there. That was a touchdown." And people went back and watched it and took a screenshot. It was a touchdown. It was wide open. Indiana dialed up pressure. It was the perfect play call. It was wide open, and our backup quarterback just missed it. He missed a 5-yard throw. And we could take the road and be like, this is on the coaching staff because you need to get a backup you need to get a backup that can come in and play, or this is on preparation.
Yeah.
And it's all true. It's all true. I'm not saying it's not true, but it's like, damn, man, it took 5 years to I'm going to say air quote develop, because I haven't developed this guy at all.
Yeah.
South Dakota State did.
Yeah. Shout out.
To get a quarterback that I think at least is pretty good, Lord knows they're not going to get two. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just asking the world of this program right now. And it's. I mean, I after what we saw, I can't be confident in Hank Brown. He didn't look good at all. And yeah, it's just such a tough spot, because if Gronowski is hurt, which we are what 4 days after the game, and I have no idea how hurt he is. He could be out for the year. He could come back in 2 weeks after the bye. I have no idea.
Yeah. Tim Lester said in the press conference or media, whatever you want to call it, that all injured players are working hard to get back. Don't know Mark's status yet. It's cloudy. We don't need to know, though, because it's a bye week. So
doesn't sound great.
Doesn't sound great. But it does also help that there's a bye week.
Big time. Couldn't come at a better time.
But if from what I know about kind of holding that information, it's probably not going to end up well. The difference, though, I will say, is Hank Brown has high-level D1 experience. Yes. He played at Auburn for a couple of years. Wasn't very good, but at least he started in the SEC.
He played meaningful snaps.
It's way different than the backups we've had in the past. Deacon Hill, the list goes on and on. But I totally agree. I do think Iowa wins this game if Gronowski stays healthy. And I'm really concerned about his injury, because if I remember correctly, it really wasn't a contact injury.
Nope, it was not.
He was kind of rolling out.
I think he was tackled, but
I
show you the play and the tackle, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, it wasn't like he got tackled and somebody alligator rolled his leg. But anything else? I mean, I think
it's because of everything I said before. This wasn't one of those games where I was like, after it, I was yelling, screaming, hooting, and hollering, this offense, this team. I was just like, damn.
I'm just happy we didn't get our ass kicked.
Yeah, we didn't get our ass kicked. It was great effort. It's a game we should have won. But I think the bigger story here is look, Iowa football might have some sort of I don't know, would you call it strength and conditioning problem? Because look, in the past couple of years of absolute despair that is Iowa football, obviously the big time transfer portal get of Cade McNamara, which we all know how that turned out, but he was better than Deacon Hill. And all right, I mean this football helmet. But the point being that he hurt his knee and missed the whole season, and Deacon Hill had to play.
Yeah.
The best player in the program in the past 5 years, Cooper DeJean, missed the end of his last season because of an injury. Who was supposed to be the best player on our offense this year has yet to play a game. Because he got injured in spring. And now our other portal get, who is the best quarterback we've had in 5 years, he now is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries, I think for the most part, injuries tend to be a matter of luck.
Yeah.
But 5 in 5 years now like this, that is
not to mention
Luke
Lachey too. He also got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago that
tight
was.
Ends, Addison Estrenga got hurt. Luke Lachey got hurt.
Weird.
Something weird is happening, man.
Yeah.
Something weird is happening, and that is a major issue because we've talked till we're blue in the face about the lack of offensive talent this team's able to get. Well, if the shred you are able to get, if they all get hurt, I mean, there's nothing you can do. So you know, I don't even know if it's a strength problem, if it's truly is a luck thing. I don't know, but damn, man,
Yeah.
it's an issue with Iowa
It's
football.
getting to the
Everybody's getting
point
hurt.
where it is you're starting to think it's not just shit luck for sure. But on the other side, uh personally, I think Mendoza was either him or Mateer battling for the best quarterback in the country. Aguilar, I think, is up there as well, but I think it's kind of those three. And like we said last week, Iowa's secondary was not the typical Iowa secondary, and we made him work for every
Yep.
yard he had. So,
Yep. But I will say that throw when he stood up to the blitz, took an absolute
oh
shot.
yeah,
That is one of the best one of the best throws I can remember with my own two eyes seeing in real time and being like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that was
He's a stud.
that was a great.
He's an absolute
And
stud.
I also do want to say I really like my goat Phil Parker. I will never ever say ill about your name. I just have to question the cover zero blitz
Yeah,
that
that
led to
was
the
kind of
touchdown.
crazy.
That was really bizarre. Cannot say I would have done that as a defensive coordinator, but there's a world in which it gets home. They tackle
Yeah,
him, and everyone's like, "Wow, what a ballsy call from Phil Parker!" And Iowa gets the ball
yeah,
back, and woo, Phil Parker's the goat. It was risky, didn't pay off.
yeah. I do want last thing I'll talk about. I want to shout out Xavier Wampa, because he has
That was a great
had
hit
a very mild, like he's been solid, but
for a five
for a
star.
five
He's been
star, he's been
underwhelming, but
underwhelming.
he's been a good
But
secondary
that
this
hit
year in
on
particular. Yeah,
Mendoza
that was
was
a great hit. That
awesome.
was a great hit. And I also
Clean,
it was
clean hit
clean.
too.
It was clean. I had no problem with anything. I know there was some talks on like the quarterback. He took a lick, went flying into the equipment, went hard into it. I mean, you saw his arm was bleeding.
Yeah,
Mendoza's a tough SOB. He came in, obviously finished the game and had that awesome throw. I have no problem with Indiana players sticking up.
yeah,
Like, yeah, and honestly, I wanted I saw a lot of people asking for flags and stuff. I'm good on the refs for saying you got a big hit. They defended their quarterback.
yeah.
Nothing malicious happened. We move.
Yeah, it was a good no call. I mean, pushing if someone threw a punch, I think there would have been a lot of flags,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's just your common shit talk,
yeah.
pushing. Great work by the refs, which is a rarity these days. But moving on, another banger, Tanner. We had Tennessee and Mississippi State go into overtime. Tennessee did pull it out though, 41-34. Obviously, a lot of overtime heroics, big defensive stop. Kind of what was that key that led to Tennessee getting the W?
I mean, I think it's Joey Aguilar.
Dude,
I mean,
he's so good.
he was really good. I would like that is one of the craziest trades. The Aguilar for I'm not even gonna try because he's too bad at football for me to try his
Yeah,
name.
Iamalava, I think is how you
Yeah, something
pronounce
like
it.
that.
Bad.
But the like this was a pretty awesome game. I think I think I'm just gonna. I think both teams are good. Like
Yeah,
Mississippi State, I thought Mississippi State was gonna be one of the worst Power Four teams in.
yeah,
Boy, was I wrong. Like they're pretty.
yeah.
They're pretty good.
They go 2-10 last
Yeah,
year, something like that.
yeah, they're good, man. And like obviously the big winning is Arizona State. There's no moral victories in sports, but that's about as big of a case there is for a moral
Yeah,
victory. And yeah, I mean Tennessee's offense. I think I even said like their offense is really good, man.
yeah,
The defense is going to be an issue, but the offense is just really good.
yeah,
And this was just an awesome game. Like Tennessee, that's a tough place to play, and a fan base that is rejuvenated, in their rejuvenated in their hype for the program, and that's a tough place to play. Big win. And then if you're Mississippi State, you went toe to toe with the 15th best team in the country. I just thought it was like overall like an awesome game, and I came out in a weird way. I came out higher on Mississippi State than I did coming in, and I think Tennessee showed grit to come out with this win. It was just a good game. It was just a good game.
It was just a great
and Joey
game.
Aguilar's really good.
Yeah. unfortunately for Mississippi State, it doesn't get a whole lot easier. There are some wins in their future, but they go to A&M this
Tough.
weekend.
That's tough.
Then they go to Florida after a bye.
Maybe not so tough.
Then Texas at home, or in Mississippi State. Texas travels. Then at Arkansas, who is a dumpster fire right now. But then they finish the season uh, versus Georgia, at Mizzou, versus Ole Miss.
That's tough.
That's kind of a brutal stretch.
That's a really tough stretch. The game in there, like at home, I think Mississippi State can play with a lot of teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
I'm not going to guarantee you they'll win, but they can play with them. They can play with them. So I'm thinking one of Texas, Georgia, and Ole Miss is a win. I'm thinking one of those three.
I think that is correct. I think they take Florida. I think they take Arkansas too. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah.
You got that, right? Yeah. In memoriam.
Yeah. Sam Pittman got canned Sunday. Talked about it a little on the TikTok. Bobby Petrino, head ball coach.
Flat circle.
Dude, so funny. He fired like everyone on the defensive staff. But yeah, that's a small W for Arkansas this week.
And that's talking Arkansas ball. Let's go, everybody.
That's talking Arkansas ball. But this up to the Tennessee Mississippi State, I would have been satisfied after that game. It was awesome. But then we got some bangers. Two game of the year candidates, Tanner. Oregon going in to Happy Valley during a whiteout, take a dub in, was it single OT, double OT? Double OT. 30-24. Obviously, the headline around this game, is it a legitimate concern for James Franklin and the Nittany Lions not being able to win those big games? I think he's 2-10 against ranked opponents as Penn State's head coach. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, the James Franklin narrative won't go away. It's getting comical at this point. As someone who really dislikes Penn State, it's getting comical. The problem here to me is, and I don't know, I'm not trying to frame this like a hot take, but choosing Drew Aller over Bo Perbula,
that's tough,
because this game was quintessential Drew Aller. Drew Aller is uber talented. He looked awful for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Awful. Missing throws. The offense was completely out of whack. Everything was off. He looked terrible. 4th quarter, things start to get right. And that touchdown pass when they were down 17-3 was like, yeah, that's why you keep going back to Drew Aller.
Yeah.
Because it was a beautiful throw. And you're like, damn. That's why. Okay, maybe he's figuring it out. And then the next drive, he doesn't make it like a throw as quality as that.
Yeah,
just the offense was good. He's commanding the offense.
Yep.
And then move down the field and tie the game, and you're like, okay, like this is why.
This is
what everyone saw with Drew Aller. Like, this guy is talented. We're back. Penn State is back. Let's do. And then the overtime, and he throws that pick, and you're just like, oh, like Drew Aller, why do you do this?
Yeah,
because you just see it. He has so much talent. He has the ability to make every throw. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
And he has no consistency. And then he has the bad pick, which, again, that's the major storyline, because how did you lose Notre Dame?
Yeah.
The pick. How did you lose the Big Ten championship against Oregon last year?
Yeah.
A Drew Aller pick. And how do you lose the biggest game of the season so far this year?
Yeah.
Or probably second, because Texas-Ohio State was 1 versus 2. But still, I mean, this guy, man, he is really tough to figure out. And to add fuel to the fire, obviously, Bo Perbula, the backup, goes to Missouri, and he looks
Killing.
That team looks super fun. Their offense is great. Talked about the running back in episodes past, but like, yeah, it's just a really tough thing to swallow because Penn State with Bo Pabula right now, I think is number one in the
Yeah.
nation and probably beats Oregon.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like you see the talent with Aller, and you're like, I understand why you can't quit him, but damn, like how many times does he have to keep throwing those picks and have the offense look terrible, to like finally have closure.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the battle of the quarterbacks in the end, Tanner. Drew Aller had a huge mistake, and on the other side, Dante Moore had an absolute amazing overtime, two overtime periods, got the clutch overtime touchdown. He might be stepping into the conversation. I don't think he's quite there yet, but you got to start including him in the conversation of a potential Heisman hopeful. I mean, Oregon is red hot right now behind Dante Moore and company, but this game was an absolute banger. A lot of concerns. I think this showed more about, excuse me, about Penn State, and they had an opportunity to break the trend that they can't win the big one. And what happens? Big mistake causes a big L.
I got a candidate for tweet of the week.
Let's hear it.
Having to do with Penn State. This is from Adam Kramer. I guess it shouldn't be tweet of the week because it was he quote tweeted an old tweet of his saying like bump, or something. But from Adam Kramer, which his handle is at Kegs and Eggs.
Kegs and eggs.
Kegs and Eggs. Kegs and Eggs. So one word. He said on October 21st, 2023, Penn State is Iowa with a finished basement.
Love that. Love that.
And it really makes you think. And someone like responded. Someone responded to it and said, like asked him to explain. And he said, to be clear, it's a superior house with deluxe finishing, but it's the same house.
Yeah. Dude, it's hard to argue, honestly.
And that really just got me thinking. It just got the old noodle churning,
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue. It just is.
Yeah, absolutely. But that game was awesome. Meanwhile, over in SEC land, we had another banger, Tanner. Alabama upsets Georgia 24-21. I mean, a lot of people have been down about Alabama ever since Saban left. Does this type of win put Alabama back in the top dogs of the SEC conversation, or is it just kind of things fell their way this week?
Oh, this win absolutely cements Alabama as a premier program. I'll just say that, because as bad of a loss at Florida State, where they got smoked. Call it what it was. They got smoked.
Yeah.
On the road against a top 5 team, which is like the in terms of historic programs, the 1A, 1B of college football programs over our lifetime. That's about as big as a win as you can see right now.
I mean, they snapped Georgia's 33 game home win streak.
It's about as big of a win as it gets in the SEC right now. And I like how look at all those idiots out there that called Bama dead.
Yeah.
Look at all those idiots.
Yeah.
All those idiots. You're dead until you're not, and they just completely turned the season around.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, this game, because I think Georgia was pretty clearly the better team, but I mean, is it time to start having a conversation? Is Kirby Smart maybe losing a step? What has happened?
Maybe that's it. Maybe we're talking about all these all these scenarios where Alabama's dead, but then they get this win over. But oh, is Georgia now down? Is Kirby Smart lost a step? Maybe just the SEC has.
Yeah.
Maybe just all of the SEC has lost a step. That's not what people want to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
It's they're all just like maybe they're all just mid and they're all just it's just a bunch of mid beating each
Hmm.
other or mid. I should say mid as in like middle of the pack top 25. So
Yeah.
good, but not elite.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like that's what it's looking like right now. Because I mean, Georgia didn't look good. Like Georgia, you talked about how who was the better team. Like Alabama possessed the ball for 10 more minutes. They had um 25 first downs to Georgia's 16. Like Alabama just flat out won this football game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Big win for the Tide and Kevin DeBoer, however the hell you say his name. Um, but that kind of wrapped up the craziness of the college
It was a
football
great college
weekend.
football.
You ready to dive
Yeah.
into NFL?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we kicked off in Dublin, Ireland, as your Minnesota Vikings took on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unfortunately, took an L 24-21. What are your thoughts? I mean, I think first off, do you think it's a good idea to have these international games? This was the first game in Ireland. It has to impact performance and just the overall atmosphere of not having your fan. Like, talk to me about that.
Look, I don't get them. I mean, I get that. I get why the NFL would want to do it because it's a market in which like you can just sell more jerseys. And if
Yeah.
people in Ireland care about the NFL, who knows, someone in Dublin may have seen, Justin Jefferson catch a touchdown. They're like, whoa, that's my favorite player. Or like it's just a whole new market to sell
Yeah.
jerseys, sell the product, all of it. I get it. I understand why you'd want to do that. It's just like not. It's just not like as a fan and living in America. It's like obviously American fans, which is the majority of the NFL fan base, gain nothing. The travel's brutal. A game in the morning for fans is tough.
Horrible.
It's
Horrible.
The like I've never once looked at a international game field and been like, wow, the field looks good.
Yeah.
Every single time, like I know a Vikings player broke his leg in a game once in London.
Yeah.
The field isn't great. Obviously, it's a big topic of conversation now with what happened to Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors and Tyreek Hill. Did you see that
I did
picture?
not.
Oh boy.
I don't want to see
Oh
it.
boy. Yeah, the legs are not supposed to go that way. They're not supposed to be facing that way, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I just don't. It seems like a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of things that have to go right just to like add another audience that like all the reports will say, "Oh wow, what a turnout in Dublin for the game," and it's like, was it?
Yeah.
Like, do they really care? Do they really care about NFL football?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I personally don't like them. I think you'll be hard pressed to find a true like football NFL fan that does like them. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're what 10 years into them now, so like it's the reality.
Yeah, and I think it's just gonna be pushed more and more. I mean, I know the Vikings, where they play this week.
London, Dublin to London, back to
So
back.
wild.
It's horrible.
That's crazy.
It's horrible. The only thing I would say is I think they're both technically road games.
Yeah.
So, but at that point, I'd just rather play in, Vegas or
Yeah.
Los Angeles than
Yeah.
Dublin. Like,
Yeah. But we saw Carson Wentz in this one. Kind of give me your thoughts on his performance and what's the vibe moving forward with this Vikings
it's a
team?
little bleak at the moment. I think it's bleak because the things that we had the things that we looked forward to this year was obviously we had the new quarterback, which a quarterback on a rookie deal leads to the ability to spend money elsewhere. Where did that money go? The trenches. We got
Yeah.
a brand new offensive line. That offensive line has played exactly 0 football games together because Christian Darrisaw, our all pro left tackle, towards ACL last year. He's working his way back, missed the first 2 games. Well, he's finally back. Well, our rookie left guard, who looked awesome in weeks 1 and 2, well, he got hurt. So he missed the next week. And then our like, I don't even like, very expensive center from the Colts. He has gotten 2 concussions so far this year, and his 5th and 6th of his career. So now we're like, this is like really a problem.
Yeah.
Where like you're worried about the player. I mean, you're always worried about the player, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's a major problem. And 2 so far this year. So you gotta deal with that. And our brand new right guard, he's the only one to play everything so far. So shout out Will Fries, very expensive, very expensive guard, but he's so far done his part. And then our other all pro tackle, right tackle, he hurt his knee in the game in Dublin, which again, I point to our conversation about the field.
Yeah.
So now, this thing that you've built to be a strength of this team and the major problem from last year, they're all injured. At the end of the Steelers game, 3 of the 5 starters were not playing, were replaced with backups. So you had a backup left guard, you had a backup right tackle, you had a backup center.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz wasn't great unless you're Tom Brady or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes. You're probably not going to play well with 3 of your 5.
Yeah.
And with a rookie quarterback and a backup quarterback, it's just not going to work. So I hate making excuses because every team has injuries. I get it. Not every team has 3/5 of their starting offensive line out, and an offensive line that they invested so heavily in. So it's just a major problem. And it's going to be on Kevin O'Connell to get creative with protection and get creative with time to throw, which is not his offense. He loves long developing crosses.
Yeah.
He loves pushing the ball downfield, which is effective with 60% of the offensive line as backups, might not be as effective.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm looking at him to get creative, but that's what's an issue right now with the quarterback or the situation at quarterback. You need someone who has time and you need protection, and just the injuries there is too much to overcome at the moment. So it doesn't look great. And all you have next week is Myles Garrett on the other side. So
I'm sure
that'll
pay it out. But yeah, the injuries that have hit the Vikings very hard. That's a great transition to this next game because a major injury happened. Talking Chargers, Giants. Giants actually pulled out a win 21-18, but with a huge loss in Malik Neighbors. Tore his ACL, man. We saw Jackson Dart just absolute ball out. Obviously it's a huge loss, but that has to impact Dart not having a go-to guy when Malik Neighbors.
Absolutely it will. It sucks. The good news about the unfortunate good news is that ACL tears are just so commonplace now.
Yeah.
That it's almost a guarantee that he'll be back healthy in a year's time.
Mm-hmm.
So, it sucks like that they're so commonplace now that they've got it down to a science where it's just like a torn ACL is the new like sprained ankle. It's like, oh, he'll be back, which is crazy.
Yeah,
because that used to be like an injury where it's like, oh boy, will he come back the same? Now it's just it's just like, oh, he'll be back.
Yeah.
But it's like we're talking about Fields, man. Like we're getting into the turf stuff because
MetLife is horrible.
If you watched it in slow motion, it looked like if that was on grass, that probably would So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a major topic of conversation. personally don't really want, because I got to be honest, I like watching games more on turf. I think the
Yeah.
players look faster. I think it's more pleasing to look at.
Yeah.
But it claims a lot more ACLs than grass does. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to do in terms of a grass turf standpoint. But Jackson Dart looked good.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart looked good, and let me tell you, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo, and Malik Neighbors is a pretty healthy trio.
Yeah.
I mean, healthy's the wrong word to
Yeah.
use right there. I meant
Pretty nice trio and
I meant
healthy.
like healthy as in like yeah. It's a pretty nice trio to have.
Yeah.
Young trio to have at three of the most important offensive positions, and three playmakers. And at this point, I am more convinced than ever. Quarterback scouting and quarterback is just a complete shot.
Yep.
Because did you see one person being like, I really like this Jackson?
No. No.
I didn't see one. I didn't see one singular person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Speaking of quarterbacks, we sang high praises of this guy last week. Justin Herbert had two crucial picks in such a close game. I mean, you have to look at this and those two interceptions had a huge impact on this game.
Yeah, look, he came back to earth a little bit, a lot of it in this game. It seemed like a bad spot for the Chargers because you're going on the road. And credit to Giants fans, they saw the opportunity of a new quarterback. They packed the house. MetLife was rocking. The new quarterback, the whole team gets a jump. The defense looked like the defense we expected them to. And it's also not lost on me that the first game without his all-pro tackle,
Yeah.
they don't look good. And the Giants pass rush, again, strength of their defense looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I'm certainly not out on the Chargers, not out on Herbert or anything, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good, but it just looked like a tough spot for the Chargers. Because at the end of the day, like, it's the NFL. It's like a team with a new quarterback, looked hungry, place was rocking. Like, it's a tough spot for anyone to go into.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, definitely impressed with Jackson Dart's debut.
That to me is the major thing here. It's Malik Neighbors' injury.
Malik Neighbors. Speaking of injuries, let's just continue the trend. It was a week of injuries in the NFL. What was expected to be a freaking awesome game. Chiefs, Ravens. Chiefs escaped 37-20. Again, major headline: Lamar Jackson suffered a knee injury, adding to the Ravens' injury was I don't know if you've seen anything about his status, but I believe I saw a couple weeks. I mean, this has a huge impact on already a rough start for the Ravens.
Yeah. Look, the panic button. If like even
could miss 2 to 3 weeks, and it was actually a hamstring injury. Interesting.
Okay. The panic meter, because the injury throws a wrench in thing. Because if they just lose this game, the panic button is, if I'm in the master bedroom watching TV, the panic button's in the basement.
Yeah.
Because look, you'll be hard pressed to find a harder 4-game stretch in the NFL than Bills, Browns, Lions, Chiefs. Obviously, I'm sneaking the Browns in there.
Yeah.
But that's the game that
yeah.
Right? Like, Bills, Lions, Chiefs is brutal.
Yeah.
And by the way, 2 of the 3 were on the road.
Yeah.
Like, the game against the Lions is the one where we're kind of like, we expected them to win that. But you went to the Chiefs, a desperate Chiefs team. Your quarterback got hurt, and you kind of got spanked. Okay. And then you looked good against the Bills, and you choked. Like,
yeah.
I until it says eliminated from playoffs, I will not be out on the Baltimore Ravens. They're just too talented. But the injury is the issue, because 2 to 3 weeks, you'd like to think you can weather that storm, but 2 to 3 weeks if they lose. I mean, because in 2 weeks they got to play the Rams.
Yeah.
That without Lamar Jackson, they're not beating the
No.
Rams. Next week is the Texans, and then the week after that is the Bears. So, if you go 1-3 during that stretch, and you're looking at 2-6,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a problem. That's a problem. So, you've dug yourself into a hole to where you can't really brave an injury like this. So, it's concerning because of the injury, but
all I gotta say is Derrick Henry, get ready.
Yeah,
get me running like you're in high school again.
Yeah, he's gonna be a workhorse.
Yeah,
more so than he
absolutely.
was in Tennessee. Some of those where he's getting 45 carries a game.
Yeah, but on the other side, Mahomes seems to be back. Tanner, 4 touchdowns, 270 yards. He looked good, but is it he actually looked good, or Ravens lost Lamar Jackson and they're like, all right?
I think because the key factor here is he got back to David.
Yeah.
And I am so unbelievably concerned about the Chiefs running game.
Yeah.
Because it is nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
But it's just a whole new, like, Xavier Worthy was their leading rusher with 2 carries. Like, he's just a playmaker.
Yeah.
And he was their leading receiver. He was their leading rusher. They need him. The offense goes from brutal to above average with him. And then when they get Rashee Rice back, I do believe they will be good. But I do think that just the everyone loves to just dance on the Chiefs so much. I get it. I love to. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
That we all just like kind of ignored the 2 injuries, and it's like, they get him back. Obviously, the injury to Lamar Jackson does make the overall performance look better, but the offense was the best we've seen all year.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a downer with the Lamar Jackson injury, but not as well. This game was pretty electric until the final bell, buzzer, whatever you want to call it, because we got tied, Tanner. The Packers and the Cowboys tied 40-4.
You and Keegan, obviously Keegan, a former co-host, Packer fan, you guys should consider yourselves lucky that this tie happened the same day that the New York Mets finished off one of the most disappointing, one of the biggest collapses I've ever seen in 27 years on this earth, because damn it, I did not have any energy to troll. It is a crying shame that I caught a little bit of a wind at the end of the game, but I just didn't have it in me to hate, didn't have it in me to troll, didn't have it in me to mention, well, we almost got one of the best all-time Jordan Love brain fart moments.
Oh my God. I can't believe that sequence.
Me neither. And I just didn't have it in me because the New York goddamn Mets. But this game was awesome. It just was. Like from someone who was just wanting to get their mind off literally anything, getting able to watch like just wide receivers wide open, quarterbacks like the Jordan Love thing. Jordan Love looked good.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott looks good because he's good at football. George Pickens looks awesome.
Shout out George Pickens.
He looks great.
Good.
I will never understand the Steelers just like giving him away.
Appreciate though.
I understand it's locker room stuff, but like if you replaced him with DK Metcalf,
yeah,
that's crazy. You tell me you couldn't just embrace like a wide receiving core where you're like, we're gonna fight everyone on the field, and there ain't a goddamn thing you can do about it. That would be awesome. But alas, they traded him away for nothing, and he's been great so far this season. But it was just a good old fashioned Western shootout because the defense is. I think the Cowboys defense, obviously, this game we know is awful. The Packers defense,
the worst in the NFL, might I add.
The Packers defense is not awful, but looked awful.
Yeah.
So some are saying trading all that for Micah Parsons and then giving up 40 points is, not good.
Yeah.
Some are saying.
Yeah.
Streets are saying. But all in all, it was a really fun game.
The shittiest of innings.
course, like it's just the NFL.
Like, why?
Unbelievable with that. There's not a
I don't understand this stupid ass rule.
find one singular person on planet Earth that thinks that this is a good idea. Ending in ties is a good idea.
Yeah.
Find one.
FIFA.
Got him. Person who has watched 5 NFL football games that would look at you in the eyes and say, "Wow, ties are awesome."
Yeah. I mean, I saw a tweet. I can't remember the user, but he said this tie just feels like a light version of a loss, which nailed it.
We're gonna have the conversation here. This is way more of like a. It feels like more of a Packers loss than a Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's.
I mean, we have.
If you're a Cowboys fan, defense. Like the way, obviously, within the ebbs and flows of the game, you're like, "Damn, I would have loved to win that." But all in all, you're like, "Wow, we tied that."
Yeah.
Like if you're a Packers fan, you're probably like, "This sucks."
And Micah Parsons didn't do shit.
Yeah, he just had the one chase down, which, like, of course,
that counted as a sack, by the way, which is absurd. Yeah. But
that's just some weird, quirky football thing. And then everyone, of course, Collinsworth, look at this effort. I should do whatever.
I'm glad you.
It's tough because there was a while where I legitimately liked him.
Yeah. And now here's Guy.
His glazing has gotten out of control.
Dude, it's so bad.
I guess the fact that he does it for everyone is like, obviously I'd much rather that than just one person all the time, which
true.
It's heavy on Mahomes, I get, but at this point, he does it to everyone. He's just like, this is the best I've ever seen. Yeah. It's like, you know what? Damn it.
That's true.
You got to respect it.
Yeah. Obviously, coming into this season, we were pretty high, or we had I don't know how we were very high on the Packers. That's it. Do we need to start having the conversation that we might have overrated them a little bit? Because
I mean, I'm gonna say no. I still think they're really good. The opponent, obviously, the loss against the Browns is tough.
Yeah,
they didn't play well. They're a blocked field goal away from winning that game. And the Browns defense is legitimately good.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with the Cowboys. It's like,
but I think it's
the Cowboys offense is legitimately good. Their defense sucks. But but their defense is legitimately good because both of those two teams suck at one part of the ball. They're just like a bad football team. But the Cowboys offense is good and the Browns defense is good. And that's, you lose a back and forth shootout a back and forth shootout where you get an extra point blocked and you're on the road and there's some juice to the game and Dak plays well and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Or I guess they didn't lose, but they tied, but it feels like a loss. Yeah. And then you lose a low scoring defensive battle in which one of the better defenses in the NFL blocks a kick and you're just like, whatever. I would not, because of those performances, I would not consider them the best team in the NFL. I think clearly the best team in the NFL right now is the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
But the Packers are, I think, they're considered the best team in the NFC. I mean, the only other option I think right now would be the Lions, and they went head to head.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It was an interesting Sunday night for sure. But you got it. Yeah.
I would consider the Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're able to win games without completing a pass, you're pretty.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on kind of that NFL slate?
I don't know how. It's funny. Get right into it. I don't know how the Eagles keep getting away with it. They legitimately did not complete a pass in the second half. That was something that JJ McCarthy did in their win at Penn State.
Yeah,
not complete a pass in the second half.
Crazy,
but they win football games.
Yeah,
they do because they're a well put together team who has talent on every position. And I also think we should mention. We talked about injuries. I mentioned a little bit. Tyreek Hill had a pretty gruesome injury. Leg was going the wrong way, facing the wrong way. I think he underwent surgery today, successful surgery. So best wishes to him and a little bit of a bizarre reaction as
he was pretty hyped.
Seemed pretty happy.
Yeah.
Which part of me gets because his team is bad and he gets to get paid to do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, not do nothing because he's going to have a pretty brutal rehab, but for the meantime, do nothing.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, it was weird.
I get it, but it's weird.
But I think that's gonna lead us to old segment on the green with
Let's
Godsey.
go. We're going all types of
Talking
places.
the Ryder Cup. Europe kind of kicked ass. Obviously, if you see the final tally, they only won by 2 points, but it was 11.5 points to
But,
four
like,
and a half.
wasn't it like the third or fourth singles match is when they clinched it? So like, oh, like it was just done pretty early on on the Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think it's kind of weird that they get the entire Europe like section of the. I think that's kind of crazy.
It's for me, it's like I get it because
It's the most level way to do.
it makes the population the most similar. It makes the limit, like, you know what I mean. It makes it the most similar when you're comparing, just like everything that you would do in regional athletic or in international athletics. I do think it is a little like having pride for your continent is weird. Like a Spaniard, like John Rahm and Rory McIlroy be on the same, like it's just Spaniard and a Northern Irishman.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're culturally all that similar. They just
Yeah.
are in the same. So like it is a little weird to see and like think about, like, can you imagine like a North America? Like, would you root hard for North America? Like, no.
Yeah.
But like, good for them. They kicked their ass.
Yeah. And it's not like we had a bad team. Like we had Xander Schauffele, Schauffele,
Chipotle. I love Chipotle.
Justin Thomas, obviously number one in the world. Scotty Scheffler, he kind of played like ass. So, Bryson DeChambeau,
he's doing the Tiger because Tiger famously sucked in the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, and then on the Europe side, they had Ludwig Aberg, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry, Rory, Victor Hovland, Justin Rose, John Rahm. So
look, as a casual golf fan, it seems like a big three of Rory, Fleetwood, and Rahm right now is pretty freaking hard to beat.
Yeah. But as kind of ass kicking it was, that wasn't even kind of a story. As the fans went absolutely buck wild at a golf, pissing off Rory to max. I don't know if you've seen the clips.
Shut the F up.
Valid arguments. Listen, I get being pissed off about someone screaming in your backswing. I get pissed when someone does it when I'm playing. I can't imagine being in a big tournament.
I get mad when like the nearby house like starts mowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing to do.
But the heckling during the holes, like,
it feels like we gotta have thicker skins. Right?
Quit being so like. Except
the golf has a major soft problem. Major soft.
Very much so. I mean, Rory DeChambeau, when he was like hated by everybody, has kind of cleaned up that image. But the fact the EMC or someone somehow got so she was the EMC comedian and actress Heather McMahon, something like that, yelled "F you, Rory" over the course microphone.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But like the crowd was super rowdy. They were especially taking jabs at Rory.
Which
yeah.
I think the thing is, I don't think like general rowdiness is the problem. It's just the F you Rory's and which like I don't like them.
Fan launching drinks at
it's both. Like wife. You need to be better as a fan, and attacks on families are unbelievably disgusting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But we gotta have thicker skin. Like it's just like both sides need to give a little, not equivalently. Like again, the onus of the blame here is on the fans for acting like barbarians.
Yeah.
But like it's like give me a little bit thicker skin, but let's not. And that's why like my takeaway from this was just like watching some old Ryder Cup clips from Europe. Like Europe is leaps and bounds ahead of the U.S. right now. Like they have
Yeah.
better golfers. They have better
Yeah.
like watching the atmosphere in Europe when they're just like screaming the European chants. That I saw so
Yeah.
many comments on it this week, and they're all spot on. Like just from a fan, I'd much rather watch a crowd that's united and chanting, you know, whatever
Mm-hmm.
about in support of their players, as opposed to a crowd that's just chanting "F you, Rory." That's chanting and yelling at families, and it's just like, bro, like
Yeah.
it's not fun to watch, but like the atmosphere when they're chanting is awesome to watch. So it's just like it's such a better atmosphere. Their fans are so much better. Their golfers are so much better.
Yeah.
U.S. just looks completely outclassed in golf.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it showed on the scoreboard. Shout out Rory though. Him saying shut the fuck up to the fans was pretty funny.
It's a funny clip. It's a
I'm
funny
not
clip.
I'm not gonna lie.
And then didn't he stick it like
Yeah, oh yeah, I knew
he
had a
ripped
beautiful shot.
he ripped a dart, right, stuck it a couple feet within the hole.
Yeah.
I saw his press conference and they said like how satisfying it, and he goes, really satisfying.
Yeah. But I mean it was kind of over going into Sunday, but we might need to have a discussion about um how if someone can't play because of an injury, you just get some points.
In fairness, though, in fairness to the Ryder Cup, it seems like this might be the first time anyone's ever gotten injured playing golf.
True.
So like they weren't prepared.
Yeah, why am I bashing? They were prepared.
Just like they were like, what? Someone got injured playing?
But like you have two whole continents. Like you don't have bench
You
players?
don't have, yeah.
Like
Which like, yeah. At least like at that point, anyone, because I'm sure it'll be hard to find a professional golfer who's like willing to just be on like the reserves.
yeah, for sure.
But even if you just get like literally anyone would be better than taking an auto L right there.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that
or even fly the captains out, like Keegan Bradley, you're suiting up, brother.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Unless like I don't know, was he not there? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think he might have. I don't know.
Is there something where he can't play? Where it's like,
yeah, the Ryder Cup as a whole still kind of confuses me.
Yeah, like how did he get chosen as a captain?
Yeah, I
like this whole thing when there was like where it was like, you know, choosing yourself. It's like, well, because there's a whole bunch of I did see did do some research, and there was a whole bunch, like a bunch of people are auto bids based on how you do throughout the year. And so like JJ Spawn was an auto bid because he won I remember when he won that because of that crazy putt. I don't remember what tournament it was. And then obviously Scheffler because I'm sure he won a ton and he's the world number one. But like that would make sense that he would just be the captain. Like none of the auto bids were captains. So like how did Keegan Bradley get chosen? And he didn't even choose himself. And everyone was like, that's a good decision. So he's not one of the 12 best golfers in the U.S. Why is he the captain? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a novice in the whole Ryder Cup thing.
Yeah. But last thing on this, did you see the Ryder Cup Europe's X account after they won?
No, I didn't know.
They tweeted
another tweet of the week.
Dude, this was pretty good. From Broadway to Bethpage Black, New York, was built on the back of the Europeans.
From Broadway to Bethpage, yeah, I mean, there is no America without Europe.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
So
I ain't gonna lie. Tip of the cap to Europe. They kicked our ass. But how many Super Bowls do they have?
Correct. That's the real question. How many Super Bowls do they have? How many SEC
titles
do they have?
How
many college football championships do they have? How many World Series do they have? How many NBA finals do they have?
Yeah, that's the true shit right there. Zero. But any last thoughts on the Ryder Cup?
No, it's like it's a fun event. It wasn't all that competitive. I will say
Go ahead.
no. I don't want to out myself. Do I out myself?
Out yourself.
Europe plus 170 was so free,
Oh
and I saw multiple people say take
yeah.
Europe, and
Yeah.
there was a profit boost on a sports book, no free ads that I used, and I got it like plus 250, and it
Nice.
was so
Nice.
so free.
Um,
So
last thing.
I did bet against the U.S. I will say responsibly, of course, but it's
We gotta talk about the timing as well.
oh my goodness.
Why is this
Nothing says get up for the sports day like 7 o'clock tea time.
timing being just being in the middle of football season? It's just why are we not playing this in summer when it's game like 100, like 85 of the MLB season and like
Yeah,
it's
right.
golf
I'm
season?
sure it
But
has
I
something to
know
do with
it's the
it's
seasons
the
of
Olympics problem, you
yeah,
know, where like the yeah, with the PGA tour. I'm sure
but
that's
that's
why,
tough,
but
especially
it's tough.
this weekend where college football was just absolute bangers of games.
And
It's
like
tough.
I'm not but like all it's also like it was the end of the MLB season. So
Yeah,
you have
true.
like teams trying to make the playoffs. You have an awesome college football slate. You have the NFL, which will forever be king in the
Yeah,
US. Like it's just like, yeah, it's a weird weekend. And like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch a single second.
dude.
I didn't watch a single second.
I saw clips.
I
I
followed it.
followed.
We followed it. I won money on it, but I did not watch.
Yeah. But that's a great segue as we go on the diamond with Dislin, featuring a familiar face, Brandon Martelli, as we will dive into some MLB postseason talk.
Okay, now we welcome on recurring guest. You know what time of year it is when this guy comes on. We got the MLB playoffs with our guy Brandon Martelli. Now, we are recording this on Tuesday. I do think I know the answer, but Brandon, I do have to ask, how you doing today, bud?
I'm fine.
An enthusiastic fine. Don't worry, bud. I started the pod the same way. Very not happy. But we got playoff baseball to talk about today, day one of the wild card series. A lot of good baseball games. Every game so far, the Dodgers and Reds are currently playing there in the second inning, but every game so far has been close, has had some drama. But where do you want to start? You want to air some things out, or do you want to work up to it?
Whatever you guys want. Let's just, whatever you guys want to do. Let's just go.
Okay, let's just go. Let's just go. I like it. So, we'll start off early in the day. We'll go in order here. So Tigers and Guardians. Obviously, this one a big storyline. The Tigers blowing that huge lead to the Guardians. The Guardians now having winning the Central, having home field advantage. Brandon, talk to me a little bit about this series. What do you expect? Obviously, we know the Tigers on the back of Tarek Skubal do have a 1-0 lead, but a lot of stuff going on in this with the two teams, division rivals. They know each other very well. Short 3-game series. Just give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the, you know, the Tigers blowing that lead, which is historically bad, is going to be the motivation that they kind of need to finish out these playoffs. I think they had Tariq Skubal. He's, Cy Young winner. He's so dominant. But besides Tariq Skubal, I don't think the Tigers got the rest of the starting pitching that they need. So I think that I think the Guardians are actually going to win this series. They're going to win the next
Oh,
two.
wow.
And they're going to take it from Detroit. They, Cleveland's got home field advantage. They got, that passion in Cleveland. They actually have a very, pretty good fan base. That it gets loud over there in Cleveland when they play. And I just don't think I know that the Tigers have Jack Flaherty going. I don't, really believe in him. I think their bullpen kind of struggled through the end of the year. And the Tigers kind of, they fell off towards the end of the year. I think the Guardians are going to ride the momentum. I think the Guardians are going to win the series.
Wow. Did you know that in the history of the wild card series, There have only been 2 series to go to a third game. Sam, did you know that?
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
The
I
two
don't,
series were in 2022, the Padres and the Mets when the Padres beat the Mets. And then in 2024, the Brewers and the Mets when the Mets actually beat the Brewers on the Pete Alonso home run. So I guess going on a limb here, Brand, saying the third series to reach a game 3, that would be pretty interesting. A lot of storylines going on up there in Cleveland. But moving on here, a series that I kind of want to talk about because going in, I genuinely had no idea who was going to win this series. Game 1 goes to the Chicago Cubs, but the Cubs and the Padres playing in Wrigley. An interesting matchup because the Cubs, at times, their offense has looked dominant, one of the best in baseball. At times, it's struggled. The pitching has pretty much struggled all year long. And then on the other side of things, the Padres, the super best bullpen in baseball. If they have a lead, they're probably going to win, but the offense has been a little streaky as well. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that series and what your thoughts are there.
yeah, the Cubs bullpen pitched a hell of a, I think they went 4 2/3
Sure
scoreless,
did.
not even scoreless, just perfect. Um, but the problem that I have with Cubs is they and, we go back to this when we did our trade deadline preview. They have very little starting pitching. I'm pretty confident they're rocking a bullpen game tomorrow in game 2 of a wild card
Huh.
series. I know that they have the luxury of doing that because they won game 1. But I think the Padres' offense is electric. I do think they have a very good offense. They got the stars, and the back half of the Padres bullpen is some of the best in baseball. That I also think the Padres are going to come back and they're going to take 2 out of 3. They're going to beat the Cubbies. I think the Cubs are riding a hot hand. I think that I just don't. They played well towards the half. The Brewers kind of just ran away with that division. But I just don't believe in the rest of the Cubs pitching, and I do believe in the Padres pitching. So I'm gonna go with the Cubs to finish out the series here.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue.
Damn, you don't have confidence either.
I mean, it's been the same story the entire season, honestly, and
I
we
mean,
all
Pico
thought they would.
Armstrong has been like a horrible the second half. Kyle Tucker, I know he was hurt.
Yeah,
He's been bad the second half. I like Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner. They can do their thing. Like they're not gonna really win or lose you a ball game. But I think with Tatis and Machado and Jackson Merrill even, I think that they just have their offense is going to be too good for the Cubs' very weak pitching staff to handle. So I think that's why the Padres are going to take it.
Wow. No, I hear you, but I tell you, one name you didn't say, Seiya Suzuki swinging a real hot bat, huge home run today. I honestly think Seiya Suzuki is quite underrated. I think he's a very good hitter. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. The Padres have loads of talent, and enough talent that they should be able to come back in the series and possibly make a run here in the playoffs. Uh, but so two game threes. This, I mean, if you're right here, we could be in for a pretty awesome wild card round. Now, the next game in chronological order is, of course, the Red Sox and the Yankees. The Red Sox do have a 1-0 series lead off of a Herculean performance from Garrett Crochet through 117 pitches. Was very, very good. Max Fried was very, very good as well. I mean, I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Oh, thank you. I let me start by saying that I believe in the New York Yankees, and I believe we're going to take the series still. I have the utmost faith in them. Game 2, Rodon has to show up, and he has to deliver. And, like, we're going against Brian Baya, who usually has our number, but it it's we get to go with our A lineup. We're much better against righties than we are against lefties. Get to bring out that righty lineup. And Carlos Rodon pitched pretty well after his first postseason last year with the Yankees. Up until he had a rough game 1 against the Royals, but after that he did good against the Guardians. He pitched well in the World Series. I think that he's going to shove tomorrow. and I think the Yankees are going to jump over Bayo. They just need to play. They need to play. Like clean baseball. They can't. I understand that we hit like 270 something home runs this year. I know that we're a power team, but there are too many times that like we're swinging for the fences. We're not just trying to hit the ball. Like Aaron Boone's making horrible decisions. Luke Weaver has like a 9 something ERA in September, and he is the first guy you bring in when Max Fried is dealing. I know he's at like 114 pitches. I also think they should have taken Max Fried out tonight, but I don't think they should have gone to Luke Weaver like they did. Fernando Cruz has been killing it the past few weeks. He's a psychopath. That's the guy who won the postseason. And you went to Luke Weaver. Sure enough, he gave up the runs. The defensive effort on that single that turned into a double to put the runners in position for Yoshida. It's just they need to play fundamental baseball. They can't play Yankee baseball. They need to play fundamental baseball. And I still think we're going to take the series. Red Sox, they're down Lucas Giolito. He's not going to be pitching the series. They're going to Bayo tomorrow. I don't even know who's going to start game 3. They might do a bullpen game. Sad thing is their bullpen's very well rested. Crochet through 116 pitches, struck out I think every Yankee in existence. Like they're going to be very well rested, but Rodon's going to show up tomorrow, and they're going to win the series. They are going to win the series.
All right, a third straight game 3 prediction from Brandon. I one of the biggest wonders of the world, I think, has to be the loyalty to Aaron Boone. I have in the past 8 years, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone say, I like Aaron Boone. I support Aaron Boone. That was a good move by Aaron Boone. Which, fair, that's usually not said about managers. But every year, it's the same thing. And, like I promise you, Jazz Chisholm did not forget how to swing the bat when there's a lefty on the mound. He's better against righties. I promise you, he can swing the bat against left. He needs to be in that line. Am I saying anything that you disagree with, Bud, here? Because like, there's just no way that you can run out all of these. You could keep out some of your best offensive players in the playoffs because you're facing a lefty.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the starting Paul Goldschmidt. I think he is, and
Sure.
I guess lefty. I agree with Paul Goldschmidt. I personally would have started Ben Rice over Austin Wells, even though they're both lefty. At the end of the day, like you're catching Max Fried, he's gonna throw like he throws the ball on the corners. Like he has very good location. You don't. Yes, he has that big curveball, but you don't really have to worry about wild pitches.
Was it a defensive thing?
Well, I know. So, but Austin Wells and Ben Rice both being lefties is a little bit of an issue when it comes to the backup catcher situation.
Right.
But Ben Rice has been hot all year.
Right.
He homered. He hit his last. I think he had 2 homers in the last game of the year against the Orioles. He's on that. You got to ride the hot hand there. Austin Wells has been playing all right too, but you got to go Wells. Wells gives you. I mean, you got to go Rice. He gives you just better at bats. He's very patient hitter. Works the count a lot. Hits the ball hard as hell. You got to go there. And I know that Ahmed Rosario has good numbers. You have Max Fried on the mound. He like 30% of his outs are ground balls to third base. So I get wanting to have like Caballero over there, and he's a righty. The one thing I don't like about that is that you kind of lose Caballero as that pinch runner or defensive replacement in the end of the game. So Ahmed Rosario was like 6 for 8 against Garrett Crochet in his career. So I do understand the start there, but at the same time, Jazz had one of the best second baseman seasons in a very long time. Like he's 30 for 30. He plays very good second base. You got to go Jazz. I don't care what it is. You got to go Jazz.
I totally agree. To me, that's the most egregious. Rosario.
Let Ahmed play third base. Like it's not like he can't play third base. Let him play third. There wasn't that many plays that Caballero made that was just like, thank God he's over there, right? I understand not playing McMahon as another lefty. If you're gonna put Rosario in, put him at third base. Let him play there. Let Jazz in the lineup. He brings the energy, and like you just missed out on that extra energy today.
I totally agree with that. It's unfathomable, but at the end of the day, it's Garrett Crochet was unbelievable tonight. So was Max Fried. But yeah, the Masataka Yoshida and Alex Bregman come up huge, and in the ninth, the Yankees had a chance but couldn't. Kind of like that philosophy you're talking about. Like, I think one of them would just like, you know what, like choke up and put a damn ball in play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way easier said than done when you have a 101 mile an hour sinker coming at you, but still, it's like, I don't know. That was a loss which I've seen from the fans online, even talking to you. It's just a loss that they've seen too many times over to not have an adjustment made to that. So, but of course, with all of these, there is a new day tomorrow, and Carlos Rodon will be on the mound for the Yankees as they try and keep their season alive. But we'll wrap up in the National League out west of this wild card series. We're going to go Reds and the Dodgers here. Dodgers currently up 1-0 on an Ohtani home run. Obviously, Dodgers defending champs, the juggernaut, the Reds, the scrappy low payroll team that made it in. Am I right to pencil in the Dodgers here, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, you're right. Depends on the Dodgers. Obviously, it's baseball. Anybody could win 2 games against anybody, but at the end of the day, the Reds have no postseason experience with like any of these guys. Like I don't know if any of them have any postseason experience. You got obviously the reigning champions in the Dodgers.
Miguel Andujar.
Manduhar, yeah, shout out Andujar. Love that guy. We should have traded him when we had the chance. Um, but they have no like the reigning World Series champions. You're playing the Reds, who just stuck in there to the playoffs. They don't even deserve to be there, and
Correct.
they have nobody. Yeah, correct. They got nobody who hits like 270. They have like no 20 or 25 home runs.
One of the worst
Players.
teams ever make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're literally one of the worst teams ever make the playoffs. Their starting pitching is okay. Like Hunter Green shoves, and who else they like Nick Lodolo, he's all right. But
Yep.
like you're not going to beat the Dodgers lineup. Otani, Betts, Freeman can carry. Those are literally the only three you need. That team can carry anybody. Let alone that you also have some perennial all stars and like Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez on that squad. I like the Reds. Giving them a fight. I think game one's going to be a pretty close battle with Hunter Green in the mound, but the Dodgers just going to take it. They have too much money, too much firepower to lose.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. The first non-3 game, 2-0 Dodgers, I assume?
Yeah, let's get that sweep.
Let's get that sweep.
Look
All
at the
right.
2-game sweep.
Now, my next question, we look at the division series. Big storyline within the MLB playoffs. Higher seeds losing in the division series. That happens a lot. Something with baseball when you sit. Who knows why it is, but it does seem to happen. So obviously the buys in the American League, you have the Blue Jays in that one spot, Mariners in the 2 spot, in the National League, you got the Brewers in the 1 spot, and the Phillies in the 2 spot. I want to know from you, which one of those 4 do you think is most likely to lose in the next round and continue this, which will inevitably spark a debate on the playoff format and if it's good for baseball?
Yeah, I'm torn between 2, and I'm torn between the Blue Jays and the Phillies. I think I think before like last month, I would have said Blue Jays, but they played pretty well towards the end of the stretch. And with Philly losing Zach Wheeler, I think that's a very big loss for them. That's almost an automatic win with Zach Wheeler on the mound. He's Cy Young candidate every year, very good pitcher. But with him out, you hope that Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez step up, but they're gonna have to go up against the Dodgers, and I think that's a lot. Still, I think the Dodgers are probably still the best team in the NL, even though they're in the wild card series. Without Zach Wheeler, I think that the Dodgers will beat the Phillies. So I'm going to say the Phillies are probably the team that's out of all those 4.
All right. I mean, I would say, I mean, I like the fact that the Phillies lose. Don't like the fact that the Dodgers move on, but I like that. I like anytime I hear the Phillies lose, I like that. My answer was actually going to be Toronto, as you had started to talk about, because like just sitting and watching two this is a huge, obviously a huge Yankees Red Sox series. And two teams that have been going back and forth. They're both good baseball teams. We all know the rivalry. Being able to parlay a series win there and going on to face another division foe and one that is not as heated a rival. I don't know. I just can totally see. I think whoever wins Yankees Red Sox does beat the Blue Jays and moves on into the ALCS. That would be my prediction. But I will say the Rogers Center in October is a pretty special place. So maybe that can carry on the Blue Jays here. But okay, so we've now got the Dodgers in the NLCS, as you have predicted. Going down, I mean, you said the Padres would win and the Brewers would win. Talk to me a little bit about the bottom of the NLC of the National League bracket. Who do you expect to come out of there, and what are you looking for in a potential series?
I think that's a series that could go that's going to go 5. I think that's
Did you almost say 7?
I did almost say 7.
I
But notice I changed it to 5.
did.
But yeah, no, that I think that could go 5. I think it kind of goes down to, the Brewers play some unbelievably sound baseball. Like, they're a great defensive team. They all hit for average. They somehow all hit for power. Like, Bryce Terang is hitting like 20 home runs out of nowhere. They got Sal Frelick, yeah, he's goated apparently too. Um,
Sure.
they got they they just play clean baseball. They're very good defensively. They got a lot of speed, a lot of good contact. Like they have a solid enough pitching staff and good backing of their bullpen where like they are going to be in every single game. But I still do think that the Padres are going to take that series. I think that they have their hitting is too good, and I do think the Padres back into their bullpen is just going to be more than the Brewers. I think they're going to shut some teams down. I think Tatis and Machado are going to have a great series, and I think Luis Rise is going to be kind of an X factor there. He's going to get on base. That's what you need in postseason baseball. You just need people on base to start causing chaos. So I do think that the Padres are going to beat the Brewers in 5-game series.
Wow. All right. So Dodgers, Padres, NLCS, going over to the American League, obviously Yankees, Blue Jays, Guardians, Mariners. Who moves on? Talk to me a little bit about what you're looking at in the American League, and a team we haven't mentioned yet in the Mariners. Winning the AL West, knocking out the Astros, getting the bye. How's this going to go for the Mariners, a team that obviously hasn't had too far of an October run recently?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Mariners take it. I think whether they play the Guardians or the Tigers, I know that they didn't perform well this year, but on paper, that starting pitching rotation's one of the best in baseball. Like they had a great rotation there. They obviously Cal Raleigh, runner-up MVP. He's, killing it. But they finally have an offense. Like Julio, good year, not great year, but Julio, Randy. But that's the only team that seemed to make a move for hitting this year in Suarez and Naylor. I know they haven't been phenomenal for them, but they've had such a great
Better
pitching
than what
staff
was
for
there.
such a long time that it's like, oh, what if we got an offense for this pitching staff? And they finally did, and they won the division for the first time in basically forever. They're they have such a solid lineup, and I just think that whether they play the Guardians or the Tigers, on paper and probably during the series, the Mariners are just too much, and they're going to take the series from whether I know I say Cleveland, but whether it's Cleveland or Detroit,
Sure. So you got
they're going to take it over whoever they play.
Mariners, and then the other one you have Yankees, Blue Jays. Could be Red Sox, Blue Jays, the whole AL East bottom of the bracket. What do you?
I think that whoever wins, whether it's the Yankees or the Red Sox, I think that they take Toronto.
So do
I
I.
don't.
Yeah.
I just at the end of the day, Bo Bichette's a little banged up too. They're scrappy. Those Blue Jays. They got some good hitters on their team, but I think their pitching is just nowhere to be found.
Suspect.
Barrios is
No,
going to be
I
out now too. Not that he was anything, but Kevin Gausman. The Yankees usually hit him pretty well. Like they hit him well last time. Max Scherzer is nothing. I don't know who else they got. I think they signed Jeff Hoffman as their big reliever. He's been pretty, not so good lately, or even at all this season. So whether it's Red Sox or Yankees, I think they're going to take it from the Blue Jays. Hopefully it's the Yankees.
So yeah, I mean in that case, you've got Mariners versus the Yankees as Teoscar Hernandez hits a 3-run home run, and the Dodgers are up 4-0. You have Astros Yankees, and you have
Mariners Yankees.
Dodgers Padres. Did I say Astros?
You said Astros, yeah.
They're
out.
Mariners.
So it's not going to cheat.
Mariners Yankees, and you have Padres Dodgers. This is hard for me, people. Who's making the World Series and why?
The Padres are making the World Series because I don't know if I said this or not, but I believe in Manny Machado, believe in Fernando Tatis. I think the back end of their bullpen is really good. And I think the Padres have just been have been so close so many times that they eventually have to make the leap. And I think that this year's their year. They're in a weird state of, are they buying or are they selling? But if you make it to the World Series, it gives the fan base something to believe in. You got to be all in. Tatis, Machado, Matt, all these guys they keep naming. Bogarts played very well in the second half of the season for the Padres too. San Diego needs something to be behind, and they're playing for their whole city. Obviously, every team is, but they have something they're playing for it. The Dodgers are, very good team, but they have flaws. Their starting pitching's been really bad. And, once you get to that bullpen, the Dodgers, it's not that great either. I think if the Padres rotation can just hold it down for 6 innings to get to that bullpen, I think the Padres can take it without a doubt.
Okay.
So I'm going to go
the
Padres.
American League?
I mean, so I have Yankees Mariners. The Yankees. It just depends who shows up. I'm going to say Yankees because I'm biased. But if it's the Red Sox, man, I think the Red Sox can do it too. They're a little scrappy. But Yankees Mariners, I'm going to say it's the Yankees just because I'm biased, obviously. We did match up well against the Mariners though this year. I believe we were 4-2 against them. I can double check that. I could be totally wrong. We got swept both times. No idea. But I think when you get to that, at some point, it's postseason experience with Goldie, with Judge, with Stanton, with Rodon and Fried now too. I think the Mariners lack of postseason. I know they got in last year, 2 years ago. They snuck in when they played the Astros, but got swept. I think that was 2 years ago now. Some of them have postseason experience, but I just think that if it comes down to Yankees Mariners, the Yankees have so much experience, know how to get it done. Literally almost got it done last year that they could take it from the Mariners. And in a 7-game series, the only thing that scares me about the Yankees is once you get past Fried and Rodon, whether it's Luis Hill Game 3, Cam Schlittler Game 3, that lack of postseason experience there will scare me, not having Clark or obviously Garrett Cole. So I think the Mariners starters will be better than the Yankee starters. It's just a matter of can the Yankee starters, last long enough to get to the back half of the bullpen with the big lead, with a lead against the Mariners.
Yankees, Padres rematch of a 90s World Series at some point, 98 maybe. Who wins?
I mean, yeah. Fan Brandon's going to say the Yankees. But, MLB expert Brandon on the podcast, I'm gonna go with the Padres. I think it's the Padres year. You know,
Wow.
if this is
Well, if that happens, someone on this desk will catch an 18-1 Padres ticket, not naming names.
ooh,
But that would be pretty cool. I would like
that would
that.
be pretty
Padres
cool.
to win.
I think somebody on this side of the table will also cash a nice bet on that if that was to happen. So
Yeah, look at that.
it's just throwing that
Look
out
at
there.
that. All right, man. Yeah, no, that's great. Sam, I need a World Series prediction. Who's
Oh
playing?
man.
It, did you hear that chuckle?
Yeah.
That was
It's gonna be
crazy.
hilarious
Forgot Sam was here.
when both of his teams in the World Series gets eliminated tomorrow. It's gonna be really funny. It's gonna that'll make my day.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
Honestly. Um I don't know. Dodgers are Dodgers. Let's just go Dodgers. Doesn't matter who they play.
5-0.
It doesn't matter. Money buys ships. That's what
In some cases.
Yeah, I mean,
this,
Well, not even
Steve Cohen doesn't buy
this
shoes.
year will.
What's that, Brandon?
No, I didn't say that.
It's just gonna be. I don't care who wins as long as the Padres and Yankees lose tomorrow. That's all. That's my World Series.
Some next level hating.
That's my
coming out
World
of Sam
Series.
right here, Brandon. How do you?
Why do I come on the show just for this?
Oh man. For the record, my World Series prediction out of the American League, I will have the Seattle Mariners, and out of the National League, I will have the Philadelphia Phillies, and I have the Phillies beating the Mariners in the World Series. So a little bit different reads on our end, but I mean, anything else about the postseason as a whole? Before we move on to some pickup.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is the MVP. That's all I gotta
Okay,
say.
he's got Aaron Judge as the MVP. Aaron Judge and Ohtani again.
Sadly, Otani, yeah, but not Aaron Judge. It's gonna be both of them because it's baseball, but
What a wonderful.
they're gonna give it to Cal Raleigh, but it should be Aaron Judge. What do you
I plead
say?
the fifth. Want to lead us into some pick'em?
Yeah. Let's hop right into it. Brandon is gonna stick around to make some picks. So let's hop right into it. Kick off with some college football. We got number 16, Vandy, heading down to Tuscaloosa to take on the Tide, coming off that big win of over the Georgia Bulldogs. Brandon, who you got here?
I'm gonna go Alabama. Just I they just they're Alabama. They just kind of took it to Georgia last week. Think they're gonna be riding the hot hand. I don't. I mean, I think Vandy's good. I don't think I don't think they're that good. I think it's Alabama all day, without a doubt.
Not so fast, my friend. I'm back in
Whoa.
Diego Pavia. The best quarterback in this game will be playing for Vanderbilt and not Alabama. And 2 years in a row, the Vandy boys beat Alabama. I love this Vanderbilt team. They are so fun to watch. I remember they played a hard fought Virginia Tech team in the first half. It was a close game. In the second half, they just completely and utterly dominated them and ended up winning by like 20. I really like this Vanderbilt team, and I think there may be a little bit of a hangover effect for Alabama, and I don't trust Kalen DeBoer. Give me the Vandy boys.
Not so fast. I think last week is where the Tide earned for the Tide. Give me Alabama. I think Diego Ravia struggles a little bit on Saturday. But moving on, we head down to the Battle of Florida. Number 3, Miami taking on Florida State, coming off that tough loss against Virginia. Brandon, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Miami. I think that I think they're playing well. I think Carson Beck has been playing really well since he got to Miami, and I know Florida State beat Alabama, but I'm still not sold on them, so I'm gonna go with Miami.
This one took me a long time to think about. But I also going to go with Miami. I think Miami is scary good this year, particularly because of that defense. I think Miami is one of the best defenses in the country, and not enough people are talking about it. I mean, a lot of people are talking about how Miami's good, not enough about that defense. I hear a lot about Carson Beck and all of that. That defense is nasty. I think they contain Tommy Castellanos. I think the U picks up a big one.
Yeah, I'm also going with the U. But I expect a closer game than a lot of people are predicting. We'll move down to the other Florida school as they welcome the Texas Longhorns. Brandon, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Gators. I think that I just I just to be fair, I'm a Gators fan, somewhat. Shout out Tim Tebow. But I just I don't know. I'm literally only going Florida because I'm a Florida fan. And I don't like Texas. That's it. I don't like Texas. I have a lot of Texas friends. Don't like them. I like Florida a lot. So I'm going to go with Florida.
Texas friends.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. He's got friends everywhere. I'm going with the Horns, man. At the end, we talked about how bad Arch is, and yeah, he's struggled to start the year. They've had obviously a cupcake schedule since Ohio State, but they were in that Ohio State game and almost came back and won. Didn't, but I think we were all a little too quick to judge Texas. This will be a big test here because we haven't seen them play a real team since Ohio State when it didn't go well. But I do think Texas gets the win in the Swamp.
Horns down. I think Arch Manning. The only time we've seen him dominate is against a 0-3 Sam Houston State. Dude is not legit. Now, I know, Sam, what about DJ Lagway? He is also really bad. But I like Florida's defense at home in the Swamp. It can be a tough environment, something that's new to Arch Manning. So give me the Gators shocking the nation. But moving on, we have Mississippi State taking on the A&M Aggies. Brandon, who you got?
I'm going to go with Mississippi State just because I loved that game last week against Tennessee. I think that they showed that they can compete with some of these top-ranked teams. So I'm going to go with Mississippi State.
Wow, I respect the gall on that pick. I'm going to respectfully disagree. I think A&M and Kyle Field, one of the tougher places to play in college football at home, gets the win here. We talked about a little bit earlier in the episode. I do agree Mississippi State is better than a lot of people give them credit for, and they can upset some teams at home. I just don't think it happens against A&M.
Yeah. As much as it pains me, I'm rolling with A&M as well. Just it's a tough environment to play in, and Mississippi State, like you said, playing well, but I think A&M gets them here. Moving on to the NFL action, we got the Broncos taking on the Eagles. Brandon, who you got?
I mean, like, as much as it pains me to say it, you just got to keep going with the Eagles until they prove otherwise. Like, they can literally win games without passing the ball half the time. Like, you got to keep going, Eagles. I think the Broncos slightly overrated. I know some people have them as like Super Bowl picks this year. I just don't. I personally just don't believe in Bo Nix. That has nothing to do with the fact that he costed us a parlay the other day. But I just, until somebody beats the Eagles, I have to be, I'm going to stick with them from here on out once I'm proven wrong.
Brandon, not only do they not have to complete a pass in the second half, they can fall behind 26-9 or whatever. They can do pretty much everything in the book and still find a way to win. I do not disagree with anything you're saying. Give me the Eagles because somehow, some way, they'll block a punt, they'll block a field goal, they'll do something. They'll remember A.J. Brown's on their team, and then they will win. So,
yep, Eagles not going to overthink this one. Moving on, though, we have the Raiders versus one of the hottest teams in the NFL, the Colts. Brandon, who you got?
Going Indy. for the like sole fact that I just think the Raiders blow. I don't think the Raiders are good at all, and I think Indy's got they obviously Daniel Jones is playing great. Shout out Danny Dimes. We'll always love you, but like the Raiders are just bad. They really are just bad. Like I don't like they're gonna get a win at some point. Geno Smith is playing really bad football as well. I think they're pretty well coached now. They have Pete Carroll, but I just, especially at Indianapolis, I'm pretty sure it's at Indiana, that I just don't see the Raiders winning this game at all. I see the Colts taking it.
Ditto. I think the Raiders are really bad too, and I don't see a world. And the Colts obviously they lost that game, on the road, toe to toe with LA. I still think the Colts are pretty good. Cannot say the same for the Raiders. They get this one done at home. Give me the Colts.
Yep. I'm going to do this one for Seth DeFlo Erskines. Give me the Colts here.
Our dog.
Next, we got the Bucks versus Seahawks. Brandon, talk to me.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. I know they're pretty banged up right now, but I still like Baker Mayfield. Ibuka's a dog. Bucky Irving's a dog. They they got what it takes. I think it's gonna be a really close game, but I just think Tampa. I think Tampa's gonna take it. They're just Baker Mayfield's a dog. Sam Darnold had one lucky year last year. AOC Merchant. I'm gonna go with Tampa.
Um, I like KOC Merchant. I'm actually going to Seattle here. I think Seattle could be one of those teams that they just kind of continue to find ways to win, not in the same, not like as much as the Eagles, but they just obviously they beat the crap out of the Saints, whatever. But like the Steelers and the Cardinals, like these on the road at the Cardinals in a road divisional game, like these are not as tough games, or they're not easy games, and then they continue to win. And Sam Darnold, I think, actually looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks at home. I think they're able to pull this one out.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to disagree.
Brutal.
Y'all know I'm a huge Baker fan. I'm going to ride with Baker almost in every situation. So give me the Bucks here. Wrapping up the NFL slate, we have the Commanders taking on the Chargers. Chargers taking a L to the Giants last weekend. Commanders being up and down all season. But Brandon, who you got here?
Kind of tossing this one up, but I think it all depends if Joe Alt is back or not for the Chargers. I know he got hurt last week against the Giants. Shout out G-Men. We're the best. Jackson Dart is the GOAT. If Joe Alt is playing, then I think the Chargers take it. If he's not playing, I think that the Commanders take it. And I'm leaning on the side of Joe Alt is not going to play. And I think Jaden Dales is going to be back for this week. So I'm going to go with the Commanders over the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those are two key injuries, but no matter what happens, I think the Bolts get a get right game at home. The Commanders, obviously, we just talked about how they've been a little up and down this season. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert, who just last week we had MVP conversations, and also we forget, even with Joe Alt out, the Giants are like one of the premier pass rushing teams in the league. They have very good defensive line. Don't really feel that same way about the Commanders, so I think they'll be able to weather that storm. And I'm going to go with the Bolts at home.
Yeah. Brandon, I'm going to ride with you on this one. I think
Thanks for riding.
Jane Daniels kind of flips the script for the Commanders. They get him back. I think he just takes his team to a whole different level. So I got the Commanders in this one. But that leads us to Superdogs. Mason last week. We'll just not talk about that one. But Brandon, who is your Superdog of the week?
I had a few in mind, but two of the few that I had we already talked about, so I want to stay away from them. So I'm going to pick a new team. I think that I'm going to go Iowa State plus 1.5 against Cincinnati. I have a plus 1.5. I don't know if your books say the same, but I'm going to go Iowa State against Cincinnati because I think they win upright, obviously because it's a 1.5 favorite. So I'm going to go with Iowa
Win
State.
outright.
I like it.
All right, sure. First off, I do want to talk about. Did you happen to see what happened to my Superdog last week?
No.
The Pitt Panthers were up 3 touchdowns against Louisville. That was my Superdog. They lost by 7. Did not cover.
Brutal.
Absolutely brutal loss for my dog. But this week, trying to bounce back what has been a rough Superdog season for me. I'm going to go to the Big Ten, of course, where I know or where I'm comfortable. And I'm going to go with the Maryland Terrapins, the 4-0 Maryland Terrapins, might I add. Famously quite good in the early months of the season. They welcome in the Washington Huskies into town. Big time travel for Washington, going cross country. Maryland's at home. Maryland's been pretty impressive thus far this season. A big 3-score win at Wisconsin earlier in the year. I know Wisconsin is struggling a little bit, but I like the Terrapins plus 7 at home. I think they're getting a touchdown. I'm going to go with the Terrapins.
Yeah, I like that pick. It's crazy. I was actually looking at both of y'all's super dogs, but for me, I think this team is kind of getting overlooked. Have kind of a tough matchup, but they're getting a lot of points, and that is the Houston Cougars plus 11.5 versus Texas Tech. I'm expecting a shootout in this one, a close shootout. So give me the Cougars plus 11.5.
Cougars looking for a bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean, they won, but it was scary in Oregon, but came out with the win for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, there's 11 points at stake here. How many do you think you got?
I don't know what that means.
How many of the 11 points do you think you got? Just
how many did I get right?
Yeah.
All of them.
all of them.
All of them.
So what's
11.
Do you have the leaderboard handy?
Yeah, I do. So that would put you in the lead, believe it or not. But Mason had a solid week, missed on his super dog, but he went 5-3. Above him is my dad, 6-2, and Tissue as well with 6-2. So
Did they hit their super dogs? They each have 6 points.
No. So Tissue hit his super dog.
So he's
so
leader,
he has
at
8.
Leader at 8.
Yep. So
Just got to beat 8 to be the leader.
Well, 11's more than 8, so
It is.
there you go. But Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. Had you on for, of course, some MLB talk and, of course, wrapped up with some pick'em. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, boys. Always fun. Always fun.
Yep. And that is going to wrap it up for episode 186. Talked about a ton today. We got some college football week 5 recap, some NFL week 4 recap. We talked about the smacking Europe laid down on the U.S. in the Ryder Cup. And of course, we had to talk some MLB postseason with our good friend, Brandon Martelli. And he joined us for some pick'em. It was an action-packed episode. It's one of the best times of the year. And thank you so much for tuning in. But
I was going to say, don't look now. We've got a couple more sports starting up soon as well.
Yeah.
October, man.
October to November. It's the start of all the good shit, for sure. You can follow the podcast at crunchtime_pod. TikTok, we're doing a lot more clipping. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Like the pod on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just show love. But the clock has run out on this one. But we'll see you on the next one on Crunch Time.